Now, there are warnings that the legacy of the London 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games will falter without more government support. A House of Lords inquiry says while the Games were an outstanding success, there has been little evidence that more people are participating in. Well, Lord Harris chairs the Lords Committee on Olympic and Paralympic Legacy, which produced today's report. I asked him which particular aspects of the legacy he would single out for criticism. And across the board geographically, because it must be different around the Olympic venues, where in Weymouth, for example, where the sailing was. And I was at the Olympic Stadium for the anniversary of the Olympics, and lots of youngsters from East London were really inspired and said that, yeah, they'd got involved in sport at cabinet level doing just that. It's about much more than leadership, isn't it? You need money, and the difference between legacy and the Olympic Games is that deadline factor. You're never going to have people working in quite the same focused way towards something when you don't have that deadline.
Was Lord Harris talking to Sophie a little earlier.
At least 24 people are now known to have died in Egypt when a train crashed into a minibus at a level crossing.
That was all again. Just to bring you an update on the plane crash in Russia, in which a British woman is among 50 people killed. This is the 737, Boeing 737, which crashed Kazan airport. You're watching BBC News now. NASA is launching a new mission to Mars, trying to find out how it turned from a warm, wet planet to a cold, dry one.
The Maven spacecraft will orbit about 4,000 miles above the red planet for a year, measuring changes in the atmosphere. Our correspondent Palab Ghosh reports. This is BBC News, coming up for you in the next few minutes. Time now to take a look at the weather. Hello, welcome back. You're watching BBC News with Simon McCoy and Sophie Long.
Just after 9:30, our main stories this morning. Sport now for a full roundup over at the BBC Sports Centre. It's Carthy. Good morning.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, Sophie. Thank you. Thank you.
Rain battering down there, and the strength of the surge taking with it large parts of the buildings in its wake. And it was the strength of that surge, of course, that caused so many of the deaths. The latest official figures, at least 3,974 people have died, and more than 1,000 people are still missing. So you just get a sense there from these pictures of the strength of that storm surge. Now, a British woman is among 50 people killed in a plane crash in Russia. She's been named as Donna Bull, who worked at Bellerby's College in Cambridge. Her employees paid tribute to her as a popular and well-respected member of staff who would be sorely missed. The Boeing 737 exploded as it hit the ground at Kazan airport in Tatarstan. Well, Daniel, for the moment, thanks very much.
There are warnings that the legacy of the London 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games will falter without more government support. A House of Lords inquiry says while the Games were an outstanding success, there's been little evidence that more people are participating in sport.
Militia groups from the Libyan city of Misrata have been ordered to leave the capital, Tripoli, within 3 days. The fighters were involved in clashes with protesters on Friday, in which more than 40 people were killed. Rana Javad reports now from Tripoli.